pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Roxanne,
Present.
Larry.
Here.
Present.
Yes.
Michelle Raj, absent. Lynn Polly, absent. Ron Stender.
Here.
And Michelle Rivera.
Here.
Okay, public meeting participation rules. My name is Tom Hilberg. I'm the chair of the Planning Commission. Please wait for the chair to acknowledge you before you speak. Begin by stating your name and address. Give us comments, opinions, or questions on the issue being discussed. To ensure that everybody has time to speak, we can address other items on the agenda. We limit an individual speaking time to 5 minutes. If time permits, we allow you one additional time period to provide new information. And number 5, please be respectful of the Planning Commission, the applicant, and your neighbors. Thank you again for attending. Okay, adoption of agenda. I need a motion.
Yeah, I
Michelle?
move to.
Larry, all right. Favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Adopted. Approval. It's from June 29th, June 2025, it should be right. It says 2024.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we'll have to change the agenda to say 2025. Okay,
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting from June 9th, 2025. I'll second.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public comment. If anybody has anything they would like to bring up to the Planning Commission in general, we would rather, if you're here for the case, to speak at that time. But if you have something for the good of the Planning Commission or something that will give you a chance to, doesn't look like anybody's, and we want you to step up to the microphone when you speak, if please. Okay, correspondence from Rick Duell. We have the finding of facts and also the
I don't know if you want to, this one got came in after the agenda set up. No, the other correspondence came in after.
Rick, you mean? Okay,
Got that.
The addendum and the report.
the addendum.
And
Yeah, well, we should add that,
Do
right?
you have a motion for?
Yeah.
You need a motion to add that, or?
yeah.
I'll make a motion to add correspondence. The addendum to the report. T-02-25. Second.
In favor? Opposed? Okay. Okay, public hearing, case P-02-25, Mark Milligan Jr. requests a rezone, and that should be a conditional rezone. Came in after, okay, a rezone for property located at 1245 Greenhaven Lane from a one-family residential R1 to an agricultural district. Parcel number 012-029-000-799-00. Okay, Mark, you are here somewhere? Okay, good. Oh, yes.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is open. Mark, you can.
Afternoon. Mark Milligan, 1245 Greenhaven Lane. What do we have for questions?
I guess, well, the initial came in as a rezone.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, later we got a letter from you that changed it to a conditional rezone.
Yes, sir.
So do we meet the,
Yeah, because we said we could do this.
Okay.
He's going to present you with his stipulations and stuff like that.
okay, I guess tell us about your, a little bit about your project and why you're now going to a conditional rezone from a rezone. As the permit came out as a rezone.
I figured a conditional would make it a lot easier. You guys would know exactly what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. I went and applied for the farm permit, talked to the EQ, about all the invasive species, because it's just autumn olive and buckhorn thorn that's on that property that is unusable. You can't even walk. And my old farm had apples, had pears, purple plums, and I miss that. Grandkids miss it, my kids miss it. So I figured best thing I could do would mow the property and plant a whole bunch of trees. To afford to do that, I wanted to go agricultural because there's a whole bunch of grants out there. Make it a lot easier for me. Most people know because they're all my neighbors that lightning struck our barn, burnt our barn down. So we want to rebuild that. And I lost a 49 Dodge truck that I loved. All my kids helped me build it. So I figured I'm going to take all that money and put it into a fruit farm. Kids and grandkids and somewhere it's useless land right now. Fruit farms are beautiful.
So. You intend to just clear the vegetation.
All the mature trees, I'm leaving all them on the outer edges. There's mature trees. I plan on leaving all those. Just the buckhorn thorn and the autumn olive. It's just scrubby trees. You can't even get through there. You know, either flail mow it or have one of them forestry heads come in and grind it all up and then seed it all in grass so I can mow it and then start planting trees in rows.
A lot of it looks like wetland. I
Yeah.
go right in there today.
Yep. Yeah. I had them come over and review it and the wetland, the small section in the front. He said I can still grind all that because it's invasive species. I just can't take the stumps out. And he said if I wanted to put sand around the trees, I would have to go to the DEQ and get a permit, which he said they're more than willing to give me permits for just sand around the trees. I have to keep a waterway open. It's in my deed when I bought the property or in the title that drains through, which we've replaced the culverts and we clean that up a lot. So the water drains a lot better off that road. And I think it would dry out a lot better too if all them scrubby trees and thorny trees weren't in there.
Anybody questions for? Yeah. Pretty aggressive.
So you're working with the DNR?
Yeah, yeah, the DNR, the DEQ and the Farm Services place both, yeah.
What are they assisting you with? Just the removal or?
We can't, well, we can grind them. He said you don't need a permit to grind them, as long as you don't take the roots out, the stumps out. So he said, once you do that, you got to put a really heavy grass down. So then when you keep mowing them, they never grow back. You got to plan on mowing all that, which I do.
So you're grassing it over and then when do you plant the fruit trees?
Probably be spring now because it's getting pretty late in the year to get, they ideally,
It's a one season.
yeah, they ideally plant in the spring. They last a lot. They're very expensive trees and they take to the ground a lot better in the spring.
How long does it take to get a grant?
I got to talk to the grant writers. I have them. They're right next to Farm Services. I got to get an appointment to talk to them, but there's multiple federal grants and there's multiple state grants, but I can't apply for none of them unless it's ag. So I have not even went any farther on working on applying for them.
How much
Okay.
property do you have there?
Just about 6 acres, 5.5. And I'm bordered by the road, and then there's one family on one side and a landlocked piece on the other side, and then Standard Provision is on my west side. They're commercial. That stretch, yeah.
Okay, and you realize that you can't plant fruit trees on a R1?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, but the reason you're doing it is to be eligible for.
Yeah, I can residential, but I can't get any grants. I can't,
Yeah,
200-300 trees at $150 a tree. They're about the most reasonable ones I found.
okay. Okay, no questions? Okay, anybody in the audience would like to? Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Rachel Smolenski. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and my husband Shad. We own the property at 1550 Greenhaven Lane. So I'll just get into my letter. I believe that you have a copy of it. We are writing to respectfully oppose the proposed conditional rezoning of property owned by Mr. Melijan, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name, at 1245 Greenhaven Lane from the current one-family residential R1 to agricultural district A. We reside at 1550 Greenhaven Lane, and along with two other neighbors hold a legal easement for access to our properties via the gravel portion of Greenhaven Lane, which traverses Mr. Melijan's property. So I have 5 main reasons, and I outline them in my letter. Number one, the proposed activities do not require rezoning. Future impacts of a rezoning are detrimental to the area. The applicant has stated an interest in planting fruit trees and removing autumn olive. And honestly, when looking at the plan, the area proposed for those plantings is extremely wet. And I'll get into that a little bit later. These activities are permissible under current R1 zoning and do not require an agricultural zoning classification. A rezoning would permanently expand the range of permitted and special uses on this property, far beyond fruit cultivation, introducing numerous potential uses listed in the agricultural district ordinance. And I believe you had that in your report. But some of them are marijuana growing, utility scale solar, wind installations. I've listed a few. And I did get the proposed conditions, and those really don't address any of the concerns of future land use, because you can come back and get something else approved. And I'm not sure that we would need to be notified about that, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Number 2, wetlands in Part 303 regulated areas. A majority of the subject property, including the proposed orchard location, lies within a Part 303 regulated wetland, as identified at this on the state of Michigan maps through their wetland inventory. And it qualifies under, or for multiple reasons, under Part 303. One, it's located within 500 feet of an inland lake, pond, river, or stream, and is a wetland greater than 5 acres in size. This wetland complex is also on our property, adjacent to that property, and it runs all the way up to 3rd Street and probably a little bit beyond, starts at Lake Besser, and ultimately it's hydrologically connected to Sunrise and Mud Lake, and ultimately to Lake Huron. Under Part 303 of the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act, Activities such as filling, dredging, draining, or altering the hydrology of a regulated wetland require a permit from Eagle. Planting fruit trees in this area would likely necessitate substantial filling and drainage, which could alter the hydrology on both the subject property and adjacent properties. Number 3, flooding and hydrology concerns. Greenhaven Lane already experiences periodic flooding several times per year along the gravel portion where the wetlands are. Alterations to wetland areas such as filling for orchard planting would increase stormwater runoff and exacerbate flooding on the road and surrounding parcels. This would directly impact our ability and that of our neighbors to access our properties via our shared legal easements. And it could also potentially, when you alter wetlands like that, you could potentially impact the drainage on adjacent properties.
Is that flooding already down by standards? I mean, last time I went to pick up.
Certain times of the year it does. It stays very wet year round though. This would probably be, in August would be the driest that you'll see it. Okay, so autumn olive considerations, number 4. While there may be some autumn olive present on upland portions of the parcel, wetland and hydric soils are not suitable for the growth of autumn olive. I'm not saying that they're not there, but it's certainly not ideal for autumn olive. Altering these areas through filling and other activities could unintentionally increase invasive plant species, not resolve them. Number 5, incompatibility with surrounding land use or zoning and land use. The surrounding area is uniformly zoned one-family residential and is characterized by small lot, single-family homes. Agricultural zoning allows for a broad set of commercial, recreational, and industrial intensity uses that are wholly inconsistent with the established residential character and inconsistent as well with the township's 2017 master plan, which designates the area for waterfront and one-family residential uses. We urge the Planning Commission to deny this rezoning request. The applicant's stated goals can be achieved under the current zoning without exposing the neighborhood to the far-reaching and incompatible uses allowed under agricultural zoning. Moreover, the environmental constraints and potential flooding impacts make this property ill-suited for any development that would require significant alteration of regulated wetlands. Further, Mr. Mellingen moved to this property only about a year ago, knowing the current zoning and allowable uses. A zoning ordinance's primary purpose is to regulate land use within by dividing into districts and specifying the types of development permitted in each zone. This helps to prevent incompatible land uses in the same area and ensures a cohesive and functional community. Again, we urge you to maintain the subject property as the current one-family residential district. And thank you for your time.
And I guess as we stated earlier, if that area is wetlands, that's not our call about what happens to that. So, I mean, as far as we're concerned, fruit trees could be planted there, but we can't tell just like we can't tell you not to plant fruit trees on your property, we can't tell him that either, but we could. It's a conditional rezoning that is in our control.
Make one other statement.
Sure.
When you rezone it agricultural, then it does impact his ability to fill those wetlands because you can more easily get a permit through Eagle for filling those wetlands if you're agriculturally zoned or it's a farm. Just a note. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other comments from the audience?
I'm not gonna handle it like that. My name is Davey Bodoin. My address is 1318 Pebble Street. I'm actually on the way to Mr. Milliken's property. But the concern is about the flooding, he's already put in drainage to clean out the flooding from certain areas of that road. It's been way better since he's been in there. So letting this drain out some, unless it's designated complete wetlands, would actually benefit because the water moving will keep, not only invasive species, but certain kinds of bugs like mosquitoes, because it's a very bad nest that you can't walk through there even. So the other point is, it's his property. Like you said, you can't really stop us from planning on our property. The rezoning would just make it easier for him. Like you said, he can file for grants and stuff. And my opinion is apple orchards are beautiful and they smell wonderful. So, I mean, personally, I don't see a problem with it as long as it's not going to be a farm with cows on it. No offense, Mark, but I wouldn't want a cow. But apple orchards, I mean, like I said, they're beautiful. They smell great. The wetland part of it could be maybe moved to another section of the property. I know that in some areas that's allowed. So if that's a part of the DEQ's problem, not so much as the zoning of it. If the zoning gives him an opportunity to do it with getting grants, then I have no problem with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Patricia Garrett and I live at 1104 Greenhaven Lane. We live in the house right where the pavement ends. So we would be, we're across the street. And I just want to make sure that we have that little strip of county property still, that that's not Mr. Mellingen's property doesn't butt right up to our house, right? We do have a buffer.
It's quite wide.
It's under the, yeah. That's good. And then I also want to say, like, I know the issue, I guess, is the wetlands. It's always wet there. It isn't right now. Now you can see ground, rough, bushy ground and stuff, but it's standing water most of the time. We get flooding in our backyard and, so it seems to me that wetlands area really serves a purpose in keeping the balance going there. We don't get flooding in our basement. We built the house up high. We've only lived there 5 years. But that would be my issue too, is the disturbing the balance, the wetlands serving their purpose. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Greg Weiland. I live at 1102 Greenhaven. My only concern is if we change it to agricultural, if you choose to move 5 years from now, the new owners now have agricultural. And we can agree that you're not going to have cattle, you're not going to have pigs. But if you move and sell that property, the next people can. That's where my concern is. Okay, well, but I mean, that's, as a neighborhood, that's a concern. If you choose to leave, we have to deal with consequences. Thank you.
Attached to the property.
Any other questions?
I have no question.
Okay.
I make a motion to close public comment.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, our options are we can approve the conditional rezone as is, deny the conditional rezone. Approve with more conditions, more table.
Is it on his report in here? How to word it? I have all of them. This is what was.
Yeah, it just says if planning commission approved, decides to recommend approval with conditions offered by the
Okay.
applicant.
Oh, okay.
The offered condition should include as a statement of record in the planning commission motion.
I move to deny the request for the conditional rezoning from R1 to agricultural.
Do we have a second support?
I think we're gonna have to deny it for right now.
So are you supporting?
Yes.
I'll support them.
Support that, Roxanne.
Roxanne? Okay.
Ready for roll call then?
Are we gonna, what are the reasons or okay?
I'm happy to list off my
Okay.
reasons.
Yes.
My reasons are he can accomplish what he needs to accomplish with the way the zoning is now. I understand the fiscal aspect of getting grants to help cover the cost of the rehab, if you will. But long-term, it's already agriculture. So we can't enforce much beyond that. It is the mess with the DEQ and the wetlands and all that we're not getting into because that's not us, but it is a concern. It's already a pretty wet area as it is. The soil is not conducive to any growing, it sounds like, much less fruit trees. So at this time, I just don't feel it's the right move to make for the surrounding area and the way that we have our zone set up.
Got that, Lynn?
Yep.
Okay. All right,
So a motion was made by Michelle McGriff, to not recommend, the rezone request and supported by Roxanne Brown. For the following reasons, it does not need the rezoned plant trees. You know, concern of future use of agricultural zone, and the soil isn't growing trees.
Fruit trees.
Roxanne,
Yes.
Larry,
I agree.
yes,
John,
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Reasons, not going to be recommended to the board of trustees for rezone.
okay. Next, Form A Capital Improvement Committee. Abby, you have anything?
Or I'll speak briefly to this. Something that has been discussed in the past is the need for a capital improvement committee. I know Michelle and I have talked about kind of spearheading that. Unfortunately, she's not here tonight. But if the board would like to form a CIP committee, and appoint some members to that, we can move forward with that. We can table it for the next meeting as well, so that she's not here.
I was gonna say, can we table that so that we get more
Absolutely.
information from Michelle? I think that's
Yep,
what that looks like, what that scope is.
sure. Something that we discussed is that likely it would be myself and Michelle who would be, this, committee members from the township board, and then the planning commission would then, appoint 2 members as well. So just something to think about moving forward.
Okay, and so we're basically looking at anything.
Yeah, we need to start.
Exploring anything we could,
Yep, we need to start looking
We're
towards the
so-
future. Yeah, anything capital improvement wise for the township. We need to start looking at making plans to move forward with some
Would we
different
wanna wait
things.
till the master plan is done?
I don't think that we need to wait till the master plan is done to start making,
It's
to
something
form the
we
committee and start.
decisions. Okay.
Right, I think that we need to start moving on that as soon as
Okay.
possible.
Great.
Any other questions?
well, we were kind of in the, we kind of started this and then, we had the election and then,
Mhm.
so we changed supervisors, so we had,
Yeah, that's what it sounded
Yeah,
like to
talk-
me, is that you
yeah.
guys had discussed this prior to me taking office.
Yeah.
And we just need to, I think, move forward with it.
okay.
Cool. See you next month. Oh, you had to make a motion? Yeah, I'll make a motion to table the formation of the capital improvement plan committee till the September meeting.
Second. Okay, we need a vote or a,
I don't know, I think that's-
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, all in favor?
Tabling.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay. All right,
Is Heather joining us or did she?
master plan, Heather Runyon. Okay. Abby is speaking for Heather.
Update too.
Oh, perfect. So last week we met with the county-wide joint master plan group to discuss, I think it was the first 5 chapters of the joint master plan that we're working on. So just so that everybody is aware, the entire county decided to go together on the joint master plan. The county, the city, and all townships in the county, which is a really cool thing that we're able to come together and work towards. So we went through the first couple chapters. One thing that we definitely noticed is that we put out that master plan survey, and our goal was to get 10% of the county population to do the survey, which was about 2,100 people. As of the meeting, we had less than 400, which is 1%. So we have extended the deadline out for that, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what is necessary. But I think the really important thing here is everybody reaches out to somebody and tries to get people to fill out the survey. It's, I think, about 50 questions for the township. And then there's an additional 18 questions, I think, that are more city driven at the end of the survey. So if people don't want to fill that out, that's okay. If they are not comfortable filling out the whole survey, that's okay too. We just want as much input as possible because that's the driving force, the foundation of what's going to drive the county forward as far as all the things. So we need as much input as we can get.
Survey is on our website.
Yeah, the survey's on the township website. It's also on the township's Facebook page. We have some paper copies here as well. And if you guys know people that want paper copies, you're welcome to just let me know and I'll print some off. You can take what we have here, hand them out. They can return them here. They can return them to wherever the city, the county building, any of the township areas, and just drop them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's available by QR code as well, which you can do with your phone. It's also available on, there's a, there's a link on the paper as well that has the actual website that you can type in, or the paper copy. So whatever. And again, if people aren't comfortable filling out all the questions, that's okay. As much as they are willing to do is more input than what we're getting. And we really need that. So
I did the survey for everyone here. Please, if you see the QR code, it's a real legit thing. So we're not trying to scam you, but take that. It literally took me 11 minutes, but I was out of the city. So I didn't have the city questions, but pretty much it's what do you like? What don't you like? You know, you can have, there's space to put comments and things like that, but it's a pretty quick, you know, select all that apply kind of situation. I don't know if Montiel heard anything from the fair about us going there.
I'm not sure, but I will check into that. Also, I spoke with Steve Schultz today on the phone. He's gonna run another story about it.
Perfect.
And I asked him to put the QR code on however, the
The
online
graphic.
version of it or whatever. Just to get the word out there, because obviously the more surveys we get, the better. We need the public's input to be
Yeah.
able to figure out how, you know,
And
how
I
you're gonna move
spoke with
forward.
Alicia at the chamber today as well.
Okay.
And they have a Good Morning Alpena on September 5th. It's a Friday morning.
Okay,
Unfortunately, I'm traveling for work, so I won't be able to attend. She was gonna check the agenda. If maybe you or
Yeah, I'd be happy
someone
to.
could do a little 2-minute blip. But she said, absolutely, we can put the flyers on the tables there.
yeah, I
So-
was gonna say, I think maybe we'll just, if nothing else, I'll print out copies as well and just take them, fill out the survey while you're sitting there.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, But,
Exactly.
you know, the more we get, the better. So if you haven't filled it out yet yourself, please look at it and fill it out.
Please.
Ask your spouse, your children, your parents, whoever, your neighbors. The more responses we get, the better for the entire county. So. Any other questions about that? We'll have another master plan meeting, in September, I think it was.
Is
Or
that what it was? Was it
I can't
September?
remember.
I think it was a
September.
TBD. Heather was gonna be looking
Yeah.
at something.
It might have been
But it's
depending
coming
on,
up.
yeah, depending on how many surveys we
Yeah.
get. But yeah, so we discussed at the master plan meeting, like population, the demographics and the driving force, whether it be housing prices, lack of affordable housing, lack of affordable rentals, that kind of stuff. And Heather said that she would put together another individualized section for parks and rec, I suppose, despite that the township doesn't really have a lot of that to offer. We do have some. So that was one of the portions that was missing, and she's going to work on doing that as well. Any other
It
questions?
was very, very eye-opening
Mhm.
on how lopsided things are
Yeah.
in
And
our area.
we have that too, that you guys can all have access to. I think it was 5 chapters, yeah.
It was 80 pages. I don't remember the chapter numbers, but I know the first part was 80 pages. And it's interesting. We read it as a family last night. But it is interesting to see like who lives where and who does what and where the median incomes are, and like trying to remember who it was when they showed the median income, and it Green.
Green, yeah.
Way above Alpena. And it was like, well, that's interesting. But, you know, like I said, they've got those 2 families that built 2 giant houses out there, and, you know, they have their farm. But very interesting insight into who we are as a county. And it helped me with my survey.
Yeah.
So do the survey. It literally takes less than 20 minutes.
Any other questions? Comments, concerns?
Thanks, Abby.
Okay, yes. We need a motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.